Okay.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting of the Franklin County IDA to order. And we'll begin with a roll call. Maria?
Terry Boyer is not here yet. James Ellis,
Here.
Stephen Erman,
Here.
Madeline Fleury. Here. Archie McKee,
Here.
Nate Manette.
Here.
There is a vacant seat on the board. Also present, Jeremy Evans, Maria Bourgeois, Paul Ellis, and Justice Martin.
You have do you have something, Maria, that shows up as attending by Zoom? I've often thought to ask you about that. Yeah.
You asked me about that. I see Russ Kenyon is also present. Thanks for saying that. I had not
No,
known
thank you.
that.
It's my fault. I kept thinking to ask you and I forget. Okay, first item, to accept the agenda. Any changes or anything to add or delete from the agenda? If not, we'll move on to public comment. And we'll open it up now to Justice Martin, whom I spoke to just a few moments ago. Justice, welcome to the meeting. It's always glad to have you aboard. So,
Well, it's great to be with you today. I just wanted to take a minute to just communicate that, as chairman of the Economic Development Committee of the legislators, in light of the legislators' recent decision to not be functioning in a contractual relationship, I just wanted to make it clear that I feel like the Franklin County Economic Development Corporation has the tools and resources to really be influential and effective in moving economic development forward in the county. And it's certainly my desire to figure out what that relationship is or could be moving forward. So I just wanted to communicate that to you and look forward to more discussions as we move forward.
thank you, Justice. We always appreciated your membership aboard on this board, and we look forward to working with you and the county board in getting rid of some of the problems that communications, basically the communication problems that have existed, and moving on to do what we have to do for the 19 towns in Franklin County. Thank you again.
Hey,
Any other
Jim,
public comment?
I just need to interrupt for a minute, and I see Joe Gem has joined us from OWD. Hi, Joe.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hi, Joe.
Good.
Chris Traversani with Housing Visions is going to be joining. He should be dialing in right now.
Good. Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. There he is.
No, I'm the Tupper Lake face down there on that end. So if you need anything, please communicate not only with Jeremy, but with me too. You're more than welcome to do that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman.
Sir,
Oh, you don't have to call me sir. Sorry. Along the lines of what Dustin was speaking of, is there any reason that without an agreement with the county, is there any reason that we couldn't initiate a potential agreement with the county to serve as their economic development agency?
I think that we're going to get into that when we get to the discussion, which may take place later. If not, I suggest that there is no reason we can't come up with some kind of an agreement, but that is going to take us some time. So let's get on with the further part of it. And Archie, I want to thank you for taking the efforts you've been making to keep us sort of in the forefront of the county's mind. Thank you. It's deeply appreciated. Any other public comment? Okay, we'll move on to the next item, approval of the previous meeting. The minutes of March 15, 2023. You all received those in, hello? Oh, you all received those in your packets. I'll accept a motion to approve those minutes of the meeting of March 15, 2023. Motion, please.
So, Archie,
Moved by Archie, second.
I'll second. Madeline?
Second, Madeline?
Okay.
Any discussion? There being no discussion, we'll now call for the vote. All in favor of approving the minutes of the meeting of March 15th, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? The ayes have it. Committee reports. Well, let's do it. Let's just go down the roster. Any committee report from the governance committee? Madeline?
Not at this time.
Okay. Audit and finance?
nothing other than, I went to the last legislative board meeting, looking for handouts again and, expressing, our collective disappointment in not receiving any funding for the upcoming budget year.
Okay, agriculture? Any report? Economic development?
No report.
No report. Loan committee? I know we do have things available down below, so we may just, if what we have here for resolution approvals is okay with the loan committee, we can just add anything that you may want to add. If not, we'll just wait until we get to the resolutions that we have to approve today. Downtown revitalization entrepreneurship.
Nothing to report.
Very good. Thank you. We'll now move on to the treasurer's report.
You all should have received the financials as part of the packet. There's one addition that's now been included. It's follows the standard profit and loss year comparison. I put the budget that was adopted by the board last fall into QuickBooks. And what you now have is a budget to actual comparison for the first 3 months of the year. That'll be ongoing. When there's a little bit more tweaking that I have to do in the EDC, but the IDAs is complete, and that's why I have included it this month.
Thank you.
Do you want me, is the investment report? Investment
Yeah,
report?
I think we all
Okay.
got that in the email, didn't
Yeah.
we, Paul?
Yeah, so as far as the investment report goes, I tried to, make the report look a little bit snazzier. You'll notice down at the bottom, I included, and again, our cash balance in our bank account changes daily. And so when this report was produced, our cash in our account combined with our T-bills gives us our total cash available. I give you a percentage of how much of our cash is invested. And then on the right-hand side down at the bottom, I've set some personal goals to try to hit some interest income thresholds by the end of the year. And I think originally I was thinking we might be around 40 to 45,000. Between IDA and the LDC, it's likely we could hit 65,000 in interest income this year. So.
Good for us. Good for you. Thanks,
So.
Paul. Yep.
And that's like found money because we weren't doing that in the past.
Well, that's because rates.
Right. I also, Paul told me, and I want to thank Maria for her working with Paul to get us set up in a different setting here. This is going to be great. This is the kind of thing we need to do. Very good. Treasurer's report. Anything more, Paul?
Nope, that's it.
Sorry.
That's
what?
all. That's all.
That's it. Okay. We'll accept a motion to accept the treasurer's report as given. Signify, please. Who's going to make the motion? Motion by Nate. Second.
Steve will
Steve
second.
Herman. Any discussion? No further discussion, then we'll move the question. All in favor of adopting the treasurer's report for this month, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay? Very good. CEO report, Jeremy?
I don't have much of a CEO report today. I think the only thing I want to say regarding our organization over overall is just, I want to say thank you to the staff for all the work we've been doing over the last few months, especially to Paul, Maria. I mean, you all had the audit report. We all looked at the audit, approved the audit last month. But, subsequent to that approval, there was still a lot of work that had to happen to get the annual reports in to the ABO prior to March 31st. And we were able to do that. Maria did all of the work that she always does, which is appreciative. Paul got kind of up to speed on what we do and contributed a lot to it. So even though you guys did your work at the March meeting, there was still a lot of work to do after that since we've last met. So I just wanted to point that out and acknowledge the work that our team is always doing. And that's my report.
Well, and I think it's well stated. I'm sure that I speak for all the IDA board members by saying that we are well served by the people that work with us and for us, and for that, our thanks. Old business.
Nope.
Office location.
We're going to talk a little bit about that since we're going to be looking at several different locations. We're going to move that to executive session if it's okay.
Very good. Okay. Anything further under old business office location?
No.
Okay. Now we'll move on to new business. As Jeremy indicated just a moment ago, we're looking at resolution 2023-09, accepting the 2022 Form 990.
Oh, no, that's EDC. You're on switch. Yeah, switch. Yep.
I was wondering where the OWD was.
It's still resolution 09.
Yeah, still
Yeah.
resolution 09. No, Oldwood dishes.
Yep. Yeah,
You want to do that?
that's what we're doing. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. You're
Then,
on.
I'm corrected. Please indicate in the notes of the meeting, Maria, that resolution 2023-09 is the Overwood Dish LLC initial resolution, which I misstated just a moment ago. So, can we have a motion to adopt resolution 2023-09?
I'll
Can we
move.
get just a brief summary as to what it's about, please?
Yeah, we will, just as soon as we get it on the floor, that's all, Arch.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution. Steve?
Yep.
Second,
Second, Archie?
Yeah.
Okay, discussion. Go ahead, Arch.
no, I was looking
He's-
maybe,
Yeah, Archie's looking for a brief description,
Uh,
so I can provide that.
Yes, Jeremy's going to provide that
That's what
for us.
That's what Archie was asking.
Yep.
Yeah. So happy to do so. So everyone knows the Ovalwood Dish property in Tupper Lake. Paul, our treasurer, worked there for a number of years, helping them out. But for the last dozen years or so, it's been largely vacant. And the LaHinch Group and Housing Visions is a team that has been working on redeveloping the property for several years. And they have applied to the IDA for pilot and sales tax benefits. The project involves redeveloping approximately 125,000 square feet of existing space at the property and constructing housing units and commercial spaces on the property. And so it looks like it's approximately $39 million project. So it's quite substantial. And the proposal, as a reminder of the process for a project like this, the IDA board can consider an initial resolution, which is what this is. Approval of an initial resolution means the board accepts the concept and the premise of the project and is willing to enter into negotiations to figure out what benefits may be appropriate. So by approving the resolution, we've said, yes, we we agree to this in principle, and then you're charging the staff and our attorney to start negotiating in good faith with the developers to come up with a set of proposed benefits. Once we do that, we would schedule a public hearing that would take place in the village of Tupper Lake so that the public can learn about the project and make comments. And also, if necessary, visit with the taxing jurisdictions and get their approvals as well. After all that is complete, we would come back with what's called an authorizing resolution, where the IDA board would actually approve the benefits. So there's no approval of benefits today. It's just saying, yes, we want to enter into negotiations for this project.
Yeah.
So are there any other, the application is part of the packet, and the development team is on Zoom. So are there any specific questions that anyone has at this time that either I or the development team could answer?
I have a question. Does this resolution that we'd be passing and considering include a detail of what information might be needed from the developers in order to process the pilot application?
The resolution doesn't, but the resolution describes some standard things about the project. Here's what it is, how many acres it is, where it's located, what's going to be used for. So it mentions that it's going to be used for housing and some commercial uses. But most of the information is in the application itself, which has been submitted along with additional information that the developers provided. So we have most of it that we need. Now we may, as we get into it, ask for additional information from them in order to determine what the right level of benefits is. But we have the information we need right now in order to have a good understanding of the project.
Okay,
Did
Jeremy,
I
you answered my question perfectly.
Okay, well then we should end the meeting right now if I did that perfectly. I don't want to go downhill. It's only downhill for me right now.
Anything
I-
further?
I think he had another question.
Oh, Archie?
Yeah, he had two questions.
Can I just ask Kyle Madden, what are you affiliated with? You're the only one I don't have affiliated with something.
Sorry, I'm the project manager on this one with Housing Visions.
Perfect, thank you.
Nope, no problem.
Archie, you have another question?
Archie, you said you had a couple questions.
Oh, I lied then.
Okay.
I only had the one question and didn't mean to mislead.
You sure?
Very good.
I wasn't sure.
Any questions, any other questions for the development team at the OWD project?
Yeah, I just got a question about timing, because I know it's certainly of community interest. What are the various steps forward, and when do you anticipate having approvals, financing, the whole package in place, being ready to develop?
Sure, I can jump in. So we are through our New York State approvals with SHPO and National Park Service on the federal level. The village and town approvals are in place, and we just received an unofficial award letter from HCR that our housing tax credits should be approved in the upcoming announcement. So that was kind of our big linchpin. So the next steps would be re-engaging our design team, getting through construction documents, and securing our tax credit investor. All that we should be looking, Chris, you can jump in, but looking at a closing it probably late fall and hopefully starting construction before the snow flies.
Okay, great.
Thanks,
Thank
Joe.
you. And non-jurisdictional of the park agency, right? I'm assuming.
I'm sure,
Joe?
can you say that again?
Non-jurisdictional to the Adirondack Park Agency, I'm assuming, because it's in Hamlet, and I'm assuming we're not disturbing wetlands that would be jurisdictional to them?
So there is a small portion of wetlands that we had to notify APA on, which we've already made our notification and we've gotten the green light as far as an approach to it's a very, very small piece around the building 1. So we are clear there.
Great.
Did
Good,
they,
thank
did they
you.
get an NJ letter? Did you get a non-jurisdictional letter?
We did, and we actually modified our site plan to avoid wetlands. So the Village Planning Commission was nice enough to hear our revised plan. So we did receive approval and got the proper letters from APA.
Good.
Great.
Thanks, Kyle.
And part of the
Any other-
funding sources
Oh,
that
I'm sorry.
part of the funding sources Joe mentions is we will need to go through a NEPA review, which we'll get a little bit more detailed and more letters that will need to be produced to get the funding that we need for this. So
Any other questions?
Yes.
Hearing none, we'll assume that we can move. Oh, somebody said something.
Mr. Chairman, what's a NEPA provision or, I didn't understand that. Chris, you mentioned that.
So there are certain funding sources that originate at the federal level, and it requires a National Environmental Protection Act review or a NEPA review. So it looks at things a little bit more closely than just a state funding source would. But since we anticipated that, we did the wetland work already. So there'll just be a few other things that we need to do.
Is similar to a seeker review?
Yes.
Yes.
Seeker on
Federal-
steroids, I guess, is the way to describe it.
Okay.
And when is the public hearing for this?
It's not scheduled.
Oh, okay.
It's ways off.
Yeah, the key date is to remember that the development team or the team that's presenting today for the OWD project would like to start construction by early winter. Am I correct with that, Joe?
Correct. Year end, if not a little sooner, if we can get things moving.
Okay, very good. Any further questions? Hearing none, we'll assume that the resolution 2023-09 is now ready for a vote. Maria, can we do a roll call?
Sure thing. Sherry Boye,
Yes.
James Ellis,
Yes.
Stephen Erman,
Yes.
Madeline Fleury,
Yes.
Archie McKee,
Yes.
Nate Manette.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-09 is adopted.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Point of order, Maria. We have resolution 2023-09 is the Ovalwood dish under this agenda for the IDA, but we also have the same number over under new business on the agenda for the EDC.
Yep, different corporation, different numbers.
Okay, I thought that may be correct, but I wasn't sure, so being the big dummy on the block, I have to ask the question. Thank you. I am assuming that there is need for an executive session.
No, we can do them under EDC.
Okay, we'll do it under EDC. If not, then we have no reason for an executive session. Any further public comment? If not, we'll assume that we'll adjourn at this point, the meeting for the IDA, and the date of our next meeting will be 17 May 2023. All those in favor of adjourning the IDA meeting signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay? The ayes have it. Therefore, now we'll go into
Thanks, Joe.